we're back with Hades.
Round 2 with this asshole.
Ryan, you still haven't answered my question.
I don't know. Because it's one of those questions, like, it's got to be able to, you got to be able to, like, either cut out a lot of or heavily summarize the gameplay for it to feel right. Hades, can you stop with the flamethrower? Crap!
No.
No, I don't. I'd rather not feel the heat. For fuck's sake, Hades.
I have a pimple on the inside of my nose and it really hurts. You're welcome, viewers, for that knowledge.
Like, part of me would like them to give Ratchet and Clank another try, because they gave him a movie. That was supposedly supposed to be part of a trilogy, as like to redo like the original trilogy, PS2 trilogy. But it didn't go over well. Part of it is because the original Ratchet and Clank, like the original game, had a very cynical mindset.
Yeah.
And for the first movie in this, for this movie, they just went straight to good boy hero Ratchet, which also doesn't make a lot of sense given that Ratchet and Clank were not friends at first.
Yeah.
So it basically go from, especially if, like, I know more people who play Ratchet and Clank now only really know the more optimistic and like there for everybody kind of Ratchet, but the very first game he was kind of a selfish prick, and like he again, it was like it was very anti-capitalist kind of humor, sort of. But I guess that wouldn't do well with a big studio trying to make money off of it.
Yeah.
But still, like, so pretty much cutting out all of his character development basically from the first 3 games, even though you're starting from the beginning of the journey, just didn't make sense. So I wouldn't mind if they tried it again, but like, I'm not saying like get the original voice actor, because that's not part, but it's like have his original attitude. That it's like it's outright stated that the Solana I think it's the Solana Galaxy, whatever galaxy he's from in the first game, I can't remember which one it was, is dominated by corporations, and people are sick of it. It's all about capitalism.
Yeah.
So keep that.
I think it would be neat to see that done. And like, I like the idea, like, obviously I'm not familiar with the games with like Ratchet and Clank as much, or as the one I'm thinking, but like, I feel like something like Sly Cooper would also lend itself really well to a movie.
See, that one I'm not so sure about, because it's a lot, the dialogue is a little more limited in Sly Cooper. Like I like the characters,
yeah,
but the game, like, to like directly take the games into a movie setting, just I don't know how well that would work, considering that they don't, like, they have a lot of moments, but it's not a lot of moments that are outright told that are, because it's mostly like dialogue from the start and end of each chapter basically, and there's like and everything else like during gameplay is more focused on just talking about the job.
No, that's fair. I mean more like the concept for Sly Cooper, I feel like would make a really interesting thing, because there's not really a lot of like sneaky sort of spy thievy things like that, you know?
Like, it would be good if they could if they pulled it off well. It's more just to translate the games directly, like the first game, whatever, to a movie. Like,
well, no, you wouldn't be directly translating it. It's just as long as you're getting the spirit of the stuff correct and, like, doing it justice. I don't think it needs a direct translation, because I think that's something that's actually been, like, a really big topic of conversation for, like, adaptations in general, is, like, you need to have stuff that isn't, like, I'm gonna use The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings as an example, because it's the biggest one I can think of, right? Mm-hmm. So Lord of the Rings was a really great adaptation, and just, like, generally a great movie, because it stuck with the spirit of Tolkien stuff. It followed the story, did a really good job with the characters, you know. Oh god. But, like, regardless, it was a really good adaptation of the story. But it's also because they weren't necessarily afraid to take too many risks with stuff. And they had somebody who was genuinely really passionate about Lord of the Rings making it in Peter Jackson and the rest of the team. But then, like, you get The Hobbit, and while they're entertaining movies, they're really bad adaptations. Because while they take a lot of risks, they change too many things and try to add too many things that it just becomes ridiculous. So it's like, in the case of, like, a game like Sly Cooper, for example, becoming a movie, I feel like as long as they could keep the original spirit of stuff in there while not being afraid to necessarily add their own stuff to it, like, that would be fine. They just can't do what they did with The Hobbit and, like, turn it into something that it's not.
Yeah.
Like, that's generally kind of like what I think with, you know, making new stuff out of already established properties too, right? Is like, you know what? If you can keep the spirit of it and you're not distorting it so much that it's unrecognizable, then that's fine. But, like, don't twist it so much that it's, you know, it's not the same stuff anymore.
Yeah.
That's like, I'm kind of really veering off topic from the question, but, like, that was kind of like the way I felt with, like, the Mordor games and stuff, or, like, the Shadow of Mordor and Shadow of War and stuff. Like, because at first I was super fucking excited for those games. I was like, oh my god, like, you know, big, well-done video games in the Tolkien universe and stuff. In Arda, that's, like, that's a dream, I'm really excited about it. And it's like, I get to play it, and I'm like, I don't want to fucking, I can't believe I paid money for this. And, like, I know they're really well-loved games, and people really like them, they're critically well-received.
Shadow of Mordor is. Shadow of War is not so much.
Well, you know what I mean. It's just, like, they were critically well-received games. But, like, it completely changes the lore in Tolkien's universe. It's like, that doesn't work. When you have something that's an already established property, you cannot come in and then say, okay, these are the new rules. Like, you can't do that. That's not how it works.
That's fair.
Hey, you having fun yet?
And then we got fucking the prequel to Lord of the Rings, to The Hobbit in Bezos' hands right now.
See, me and Lawrence were actually talking about that the other day. And initially, I was really hesitant about it. And again, I am not a fan of Jeff Bezos at all. I think he's a piece of shit human being. I think he doesn't understand the value of human life anymore. Whatever. The one thing I will give him, though, is he doesn't fucking half-ass anything he does. And he was, like, the one who personally kind of did the stuff for this series. Like, he, like, requested, because he is a massive Tolkien fan. And I don't think he would let it get made if it was garbage. And to be fair, he's also investing a significant amount of money, like, in the series.
I don't... It's more just with him, I don't think he understands what it truly means for somebody else to enjoy something.
Well, I know, I just mean, like, I have a little bit more confidence in that series because it's, like, I don't know. It's also not fundamentally changing the nature of Tolkien stuff. It's literally just adapting work that was written by Tolkien post Lord of the Rings, essentially. Which I'm okay with. Like, I think, from my basic understanding, a lot of, like, concepts for the show, anyway, came out of the Silmarillion.
Okay.
And, like, the post, like, appendix stuff for Lord of the Rings. So I'm interested to see where they go, because they're already working with an established property rather than trying to make their own thing out of it. Like what the Shadow of Mordor and Shadow of War games did. They're not trying to insert their own new things, they're doing stuff that's already established.
Still, it also depends, like, just because there's existing writing doesn't mean the delivery is going to be good. And
I know.
while even if it's true that Bezos does respect Tolkien's work, it doesn't mean he's going to hire people that do.
No, we're gonna see how it turns out.
Because let's be real, Bezos is not a director. He's not anything that belongs in a television in the actual development of a TV series. He's a businessman. This is the same idiot that thought Amazon could create its own games, and they have not pumped out a successful thing since.
But in any case,
I know, I'm more just saying, like...
we'll have to wait and see with that. But back to the original kind of point, it's like, I feel like as long as they're not trying to create their own new things and they're still following the, like, spirit and rules of the universe of the game, then, like, that's fine. This little boy is very annoyed with me right now.
So I just remembered the last boss of this is the Rock Titan.
Oh, that's not bad. I'm gonna just going back to it. I'm gonna answer my own question. I like the idea of putting games that have these like big sprawling worlds into like a TV or movie sort of format. Like, I don't know how it would ever work because of the sheer length of stuff. But I feel like, and obviously, like, I haven't played them, but, like, having watched, you know, tons of videos about them and stuff, I feel like stuff like the Nier, like the Drakengir stuff would be really interesting as, like, a long-form TV series.
See, that one would be good. The only problem it is, and we're just thinking cynically about the people who would be in charge of in the decision-making room for this, is the Drakengir games are not feel-good stories.
No.
But that's where the problem comes in, because everyone that makes these TV series, like trying to make big budget TV series, or trying to either cash in on something that's highly successful when Drakengir is still very niche, or they make it as generic as possible. His little toes.
Sorry, yeah, no, I understand your point, though. I just think the sprawling world and, like, lore of the Drakengir series would be really fucking cool as, like a series kind of format. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm not saying you're wrong. It's more just...
No, honey.
I don't trust businesses to make a series that's inherently a very depressing world.
Yeah.
To make a series that actually sticks to the the feel of the games.
Yeah.
I don't care about these fucking mushrooms. Yeah, there. Throw your temper tantrum and leave. Donald, you did nothing. Is there gonna be like a random number of invisibles as well? Because I'm doing it with the other purebloods. I'm actually kind of surprised Dorks isn't one of the tournament brackets.
Yeah.
Considering they've thrown the chameleon boss and the yeah, the chameleon bot, the behemoth, and the guard armor or whatever.
Or not. Oh, he's so mad.
Why?
Boom, 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 with his tail. I was just playing with your feet.
He's like, Mother, I wish to sleep.
He's also mad at me because I'm moving my leg and he was using it as a rest. But... nicely listen.
Oh, this one's just two stealth sneaks. I wonder what stat differences are actually between the stealth sneaks and the chameleon boss you fight at the beginning in Tarzan's world.
I thought that was a stealth sneak too, essentially.
No, these are the black ones. So, but because generally when a boss becomes a standard enemy or a powerful enemy or whatever, they give it some kind of stat differences usually.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just wondering if there's any actual stat difference, or they just slapped on a new texture so it wasn't the same one as the exact same as the boss.
Yeah.
Like, I know Chameleon's been looking for much any direction, but I'm right in front of its face. How does it always hit me with those eye lasers?
Butts.
That sounds accurate. Oh no, it's
A wave of,
a wave of the Hollow Bastion enemies.
migraine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Need your peppermint stuff?
I'll grab it after.
I didn't see what seed this was. Was it like 3?
It was definitely a number.
Thank you.
Are we still on episode 2?
Mm. Donald, I know you don't have any physical physical strength behind that swing. Yes. I know Donald doesn't have any physical strength behind that swing, but he could still do something other than just kind of walking towards the Heartless. Flying enemies are so much fun to deal with.
Aren't they? No, I just annoyed when I moved my hand from massaging his leg.
He is a fickle boy.
He is a fickle boy. But we love him.
Of course we're not done. Why would we be done? I seriously don't understand the decision to have a round where the Heartless can just keep spawning. Doesn't that defeat the whole purpose of a bracket in a tournament?
If you're following traditional tournament structure, yes. No time up on that?
No, because it's Nomura. It's...
No, I mean my misstep when I spoke.
Eh.
Permanent.
Terminant.
Permanent and thermostat together forever.
Yep. Ugh, so close, but I need a break from this. Just gonna pause it and we'll see everybody in the next episode of 3 Dorks Plays.
Goodbye.